Hey, testing, testing. How we looking here?
Everybody.
Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking alright. Yeah, so I guess it's a rough draft. Could be the final draft. We'll see. First off, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who participated for kind of giving me some direction, some inspiration. So I guess this video goes out to you. Um, I guess let me just say the first thing what I'm gonna even talk about is I'm gonna tackle a couple different issues at once because I think that they're all relevant and they fit together in a nice little package. Um, my transformation, how apparently I'm different to people. Um, I don't necessarily feel that I'm different, but I'm gonna tackle that. I believe I'm gonna try, as well as one person posed a pretty good question about education, learning versus brainwashing. Are they separate entities or are they forms in the same relative relation? Um, yeah, so apparently I've changed. I don't feel that I made a conscious decision to change myself particularly, but I will say that over time I learned that who I was to other people, I wasn't pleased. I wasn't pleased with who I was to other people. So I made a decision to change. Also, there were other factors. My brother, he moved away, and I had to fulfill a role that was placed upon me that I had to do it. No choice about it. Um, but I wrote down some responses, and now I've gone way off of uh, off of what I wrote, but I'm gonna go back to it now. So what I said is how I went from the Sean everyone knew to this new intellectual Sean was after high school. I began to slowly learn that most of what I was taught was absolutely either wrong or skewed in a particular way that completely altered how things happened historically. I wrote down a quote that I read a long time ago, and it really affected me. So, the majority of my adult life has been spent unlearning what I was taught as a child. Now, that is the case absolutely for my short adult life. So, that really probably is one of the main things that has affected me in my transition from the Sean everybody knew to this new intellectual Sean. Although I don't feel that I'm an intellectual, I like to read. I read a lot, but am I an intellectual? I'm a human being like you. That's all. Plain and simple. Uh, but I touch on an important subject, because I mentioned learning and self-learning and schools educating, rather indoctrinating, I feel. So are learning and brainwashing two separate entities? Or is learning nothing more than a form of brainwashing? That's a good question. You know, I believe that brainwashing can be a form of learning, but the distinguishment needs to be made that learning and brainwashing can also be their own individual entities. For example, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Clockwork Orange. It's on Netflix. It's a crazy movie by Stanley Kubrick. But there's a scene famously near the end of the movie where a guy is forced to keep his eyes open and watch a screen. Oh my God! You know, that was brainwashing. He was being brainwashed. There was definitely some more symbolism involved. That can be talked about in its own video for sure, but that's a form of brainwashing, right? That is very different from a student in school being able to ask questions and not, here, you're not like this in school, forced to watch TV, right? But you are forced to take tests, and if you don't pass the tests, you fail, and if you fail, that it follows you forever, and there's repercussions, basically. There's authority and there's fear, and you're forced to do things, right? For your own benefit, of course. So-called. But then there's self-learning, and that's not brainwashing, or is it? You're counter-brainwashing, or it's a deep subject, but I feel like it's important because my so-called transition has been from schooling to me schooling myself, to relearning things that I was taught and going, that's not exactly how I heard it. Why is that? So there's other opinions out there. There's other history is written by the winner, right? There's obviously other sides to the story. They just didn't win the conflict. I don't know. I digress, I suppose. I'm looking at the timer. It says I've been talking for 7.5 minutes. I'm gonna relook it, and if I share this video, obviously this is redundant at this point. But once again, thank you for any inspiration. A comment, give me some more ideas for things to talk about, or maybe I'll go further into this. It was really helpful to kind of learn about what I need to do to improve these videos. I probably need a better setup with a backdrop so that there's not just random shit back here. Like I got records and random bookshelves and like, what's that? A vacuum cleaner? What is that? What is that shit? I don't know. Yeah, alright. Thanks, guys.